Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new here, welcome, and for those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I thought we'd do something different for our Saturday morning video, and that is I'm going to be setting up February in my A5 half-year Stalogy for work, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. All right, so this is my A5 Stalogy. This actually literally is my Moterm cover. This is my A5 Stalogy. If you guys saw back in, I think it was October where I set this up, I really have not changed it. I know people do this all super fancy and whatnot, but I don't even really look at this except when I'm opening up to do a video. So we are going into February. I recently did a video where I did a flip through of January. Really enjoyed it. Super colorful. Enjoyed that as well. And so I thought I would go in a little different direction for February. And as someone who gets obsessed with things, it actually fits a bunch of needs for me. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is I'm actually going to take it off of this. This is my pencil board. I have never actually used this. Apparently you stick it behind where you're writing and it helps you. Since I've never used it, I don't know how it works, but I put it back here because then sliding the Stalogy into it with the Midori cover, I don't know if there's a glare on it, it actually makes it easier for me to do that. So it'll be just easier for me to work on since I am going to be working on multiple pages. And I will need to put a tab on here, but I'll probably do that off camera because it's up there and I don't want to grab it just yet. But the way that this is going to kind of fit a couple of my needs is I'm going to add some coloring pages in here. And I'm thinking that during the week, I'll have some things to color during my lunch break. Because I actually did a little bit of that on Wednesday this week for about 20 minutes. And I find it really relaxing, especially in the office when it's just been a busy week and has continued and will continue to be busy weeks. Now this I had on hand, and this is from Daiso. So this is $1.50, and I actually had purchased this because I made some things for Christmas. And actually I can't show you what I made, but I can show you the style it was made in. So I have a video where I made this, and this is using a 6x6 piece of paper, and then it's just a little notebook. So for the office gifts that I gave to my coworkers, I made one of these as a little notebook that they could carry around, and then I took this apart. I actually had bought two of these, and then I had made a little coloring book for them as well. And I just thought that was a super cute idea. Now, because I still had one left over, what I'm going to be doing is I've taken it apart. As you can see, it's just stapled in. And then I'm going to fit pages in here for me to color. So I'll stick this down. I'm going to do a quote page here. This is going to be our monthly overview. This is going to be some of the trackers I'm going to be doing for the month. And then we're going to set up the very first week. And it is going to be very either printable or paper heavy. So I don't know that I'm going to be adding any washi or stickers right now. I think what I'm going to be concentrating on is just whatever colors I'm putting on the coloring page, and then whatever colors I choose to do the lettering so that it isn't super, super busy, because I do use this and need it to be functional for work. So again, the only thing with coloring books, as you probably know, is that especially with this kind, because there are some that are just one-sided, I do need to pick what picture I need, and then I sacrifice the other picture. But I mean, to me that's fine. And because February is Valentine's month, I thought this one with the sweets would look really cute. And all I did was I took the page, I lined it up how I wanted to center whatever picture I'm using, and then I just made a mark and used my paper cutter to cut it off. And so I'm going to stick this down. Now that is a nice page there, but I think this just makes more sense for February month. Although not every week is going to be sweets and things. It'll range whatever's in that little coloring book. And for this one here, I did decide to use as much of the page as I could, although from week to week I might just put in either like a half sheet or tip it in and then I can color both sides. But for this one, I actually do want it just straight on the page. Okay, and so that's done. I already have the quote that I want to use, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on some music for you guys and do the lettering and then the outlining, and then when I'm done with that, I'll bring you guys back. All right, guys, so the quote for the month is, "The more you weigh, the harder it is to kidnap you. Stay safe. Eat cake." Now, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that, but just went with it. That down here, I meant to do the cursive over the highlighter, but I should have made it longer in the beginning, so it looks kind of wonky, but that's okay. I don't have a color theme for the page. I actually do have mild liners at work, so I could color with mild liners. I might take that roll that I have that has the Crayolas and the Staedtlers, this thing right here. And so in here I have colored pencils, and this did not come with the set, but these came with this roll here, and these are Staedtler fine liners, and I might take this to work to go along with the mild liners, and then that way I'll have some colors at work to play with. And I think between that and that puts a lot of color on the page. Now I do plan to use printables from Naked Grids, which is Claudia's shop. I did purchase them last month, and there's no reason why I can't continue to use them. And that's why I wasn't too concerned about either doing additional ink like up there, which actually ghosting but not bleeding through, or going back and just thickening out the lines, because I knew I would be putting a printable here anyway. And so like I showed you last month, this is the printable that I will be using. You do have the option of either a Sunday or a Monday start. For whatever reason, I prefer a Sunday start with the monthly overview, but a Monday start when I'm doing my weeklies. And so I'm going to be using that. For this page right here, I'm going to be using this one, which is the exact same one that I used last month. I find her printables really easy to adjust. And because I need certain things on here, yeah, I love using them. So let me go ahead and cut these all down, and I'll be right back. Okie dokie, so I have not actually done anything to this one, but I have put the dates in here. This is for February 2020, and it starts on a Monday, which is super convenient, especially to figure out the numbers. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this down. And just like last month, I didn't need the little dot grid at the bottom of it, or maybe it was lined. Well, I didn't need it. All I wanted was this monthly. And I do find it easier with a monthly that I can write in the boxes. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I had a monthly like this in the beginning part of when I used this, where I would circle or mark around the box because it meant something. But I do prefer the monthly that I can write certain things in. It's more convenient to me, and I love that I don't have to draw out all of the boxes. I know it seems weird to put paper on top of paper, but for me, I love this setup, but I also want it to be as easy for myself as I can make it. So yeah, I know. It will make it thick, but again, right now I'm not too concerned with that. Now what I've done for these little pieces is, again, I took a coloring page, cut it down, and then cut it down some more just because I would have some dead space. And while I'm putting this down, Miss Veronica had asked if I had considered maybe using the printables and putting them in like a disc system. And to be honest, no. And the reason for that is more and more I am moving away from the disc system. So the only thing that I really have is just my Happy Nietzsche bullet journal. And I didn't feel like working on that tonight. It's Friday after work. I wanted to play with coloring book stuff. So that's why I chose this. But yeah, I'm leaning more towards the Stalogy, the bullet journals, things like that, versus anything that's on the discs or the rings, just because I don't know. I don't know if it's just a natural evolution of things. I don't know if I'm just bored with it. I don't know what it is, but I'm really not that into Happy Planner anymore. But her printables would absolutely lend themselves to being purchased. It would be a little bit bigger than a mini, I believe, but a little bit smaller than a classic. But if you look at how the sheets are, because I choose the one that you can print on one page, but you can actually also print various things. But I think there would definitely be enough room on the side here if you punched it and then put this into a disc system, because I find them very functional to me. I mean, like this side is definitely more agreeable to being punched than this side is, but even that I think is definitely enough space where you could punch this if you want to purchase a printable and just sort of make your own monthly calendar versus relying on something from Happy Planner or anything really on the disc system. Levenger has, I want to see, there's a Martha Stewart on discs and whatnot. Yeah, so that's why you don't see a lot of Happy Planner stuff on here. At most you're going to see Happy Planner stickers because I've got a thing for stickers, but I'm moving away from that just because it's at this time it's just not that interesting to me. Okay, now I won't do it in this video, but I will do like I did last month, where I will highlight the weekends. I like seeing the visual break for the week because it does make this seem a lot shorter. And I'll go ahead and figure out what my priorities are. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing Itaki videos, but I don't know that I'm not. So I'm just going to turn that into Itaki. And if I don't make many Itaki videos, then I can always fill it up here. This will remain as the goals. This will be covered up. I'm just not sure by what, because the only thing I could figure out or think of to track on a monthly basis is my water, and I horribly failed at that. So I don't want to set myself up for failure. So I'm just going to not use it. That will be the important dates and deadlines for this particular month. And actually, I did want to grab something. So this was a freebie that Rena and Crystal had sent to me in not the last order, but the previous one. And so I'm going to use this. And I'll use February here, because otherwise nothing else on this page says February. And then I'll grab a 2020, or rather 2021. Honestly, January seems like the longest month in the history of ever. I mean, it already seems like a really long year. And it's literally the 29th of January. But, you know, whatever. At least in February, candy goes on sale on July 15th. I mean, if that's not something to look forward to, I don't know what is. So, February 2021, the font absolutely does not match, and that's fine. I mean, clearly I'm turning this into a work coloring book, which is absolutely never a thing, but whatever. For this page, what I did was and I don't know if you can see it, but I did white out the line with a white Jelly Roll pen. This is where I'm going to put the quote of the week. And I can show you how I'm going to do this because I've used this one before. And so it's this one here. So this will be what I need to do for the second week of February, and that'll be a list that I'll do ongoing throughout the first week. This will be all of the completed tasks that I do. This will be thoughts in, thoughts out. And I already did map out how I want to segment this bottom part. And I do prefer writing on another surface. This is a stencil that I had purchased from Christine Marie Designs, and it's out, so I'm going to use it. I just need a straight edge. The little ruler that I usually have in here, I have somewhere else, and it's just not handy. Now I could freehand this, but in the bullet journals that I have, or the journals, and in this one in particular, I am very fussy on how I want my lines to look. And let's use one of the purples because I just chose these colors because they seem kind of February-esque. And this means something. That's totally ugly. And this means something. This means something. This here. This here. And here. And then down here, this means something. And just in case you were yelling at me, I just saw it, so I'm going to put the line down. Okay, so I'm going to put this in for the first week of February, and then I'm going to put this in on the opposite page. Now, I don't know that I'm going to have a coloring sheet for every single week that I do, but as of right now, that's how it's going to look. Okay, so what I've done is I've used the colors that were on this page and did some squigglies up there. This actually was supposed to be the quote and the picture for this cover page, but then I found this one and I thought this one worked better for February, and then I found that quote. I'm like, yes, it's meant to be, but I did like that, and it says, "Time you enjoy wasting was not wasted," by John Lennon. Now, I find this a really good quote and something that I will need to remind myself of as often as I can, because, and I've talked about this before, where I like being creative, and sometimes I feel guilty when my creativeness is only for my own enjoyment. And what I meant by that, what I mean by that is, I'm not making content with it, or I'm not making something for my blog, or I'm not doing something that's geared towards my Etsy shop. I'm doing it strictly for my own personal satisfaction because it makes me happy. It's part of self-care, but I've always felt guilty for that I should be productive. And it wasn't until I had seen a video from Cindy that I realized that when you're doing stuff like this, when you're coloring, playing Animal Crossing, doing journaling, and not filming it, not making content, because the vast majority of you who follow me don't, it doesn't mean that you're not being productive. It means the value of it is more personal than if you are being productive by way of your job or doing something around the house that also benefits other people. Being productive just means you are producing something. I don't know where this tangent went, but that's what this quote made me think of. I know, it's odd. It is a strange video for Saturdays. I have maintained a Saturday upload since May of 2019. So while before I was inclined to do specific kinds of videos, for me, I want to do a Saturday upload, and I'm going to just upload what feels good to me. Now, I actually wanted to do the Skinny Classic setting up for February, but I haven't picked my colors yet. And so I've already had a breakdown once before where I didn't know where I was going and I had a little crying fit, and I didn't want that. I knew exactly what I wanted in this. Right now it looks rather plain, but I'm hoping the next time you guys see this, which will be the after the pen for this and the setup for the second week of February, that I have no expectation that I will finish these pictures, but that there'll definitely be some more color on the pages. And I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't think I did. If I did, I'll just edit this out. But while I'm putting this like this in a book-bound system, I've already mentioned these printables would absolutely work if you put them on the disc system, because I believe a lot of you are in Happy Planner products in various sizes. There is no reason why you can't take a coloring book. And I mean, this is one I had that kind of fit the size. I could have cut something down from here. I could have cut something down from the other ones that I have recently hauled and put them in here. I could have made copies of a page cut that down and put it in here. So if you are in your monthly overview and you rarely use your monthly overview, maybe stick a coloring page on top of it, because you'd still want the weekly that's right after, and you still want the back of the dashboard, which is right after, but turn it into something like this, where whether or not you color that page, the artwork, I think, is really pretty, just black and white. If you are in an Erin Condren and you are in a week that you're not going to have a lot done, cut down a coloring page and put it in. So when I'm showing you guys these things, I mean, I'm showing you in the way that I'm using it, but there's no reason why you can't adapt it for whatever system that you're working in. Again, as an art piece, that looks good. And if I just kept the color on the page as the purples and the pinks, the writing that will be here, and not color this in, I think that still would be visually interesting. Same like that. Because I will be writing some things in here, I'll be writing some things in here, this will get highlighted. And so if you just want it to be a decorative aspect and not color, absolutely. If you've got a myriad of coloring books from the Dollar Tree, absolutely. I mean, these books, these systems are as functional and decorative as you want to make them. Just because I use this in Stalogy doesn't mean that you can't use these tips in whatever it is that you work out of. This is a really weird video. I'm gonna go eat some rice pudding now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd love to know what you guys think. And as always, aloha.